So let's take this into a chart format. This is the Australian dollar. Ignore the prices at the bottom because this is UK time, but 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is a central bank dealers range, and I've delineated that with these purple lines. So taking the lowest wick to the highest wick, these purple lines delineate the central bank dealers range, high and low. So all I've done is, in my fib tool, I've set my fib levels at 0, 0.5, 1, 2, 3, or -1, -2, and so on. Now, one standard deviation down, if I calibrate it from the lowest wick to the highest wick in that central bank dealers range, one standard deviation is very close to this swing point over here, and two standard deviations is very close to this swing point over here. So this is enough for me for government work. I want to assess my range is less than 40 pips and greater than 20 pips. Like I said, it can be as low as 15 pips. But anything less than that we want to omit using the central bank dealers range. We move into Asia, and typically in Asia we will attack the central bank dealers range high and the low. As you can see, we have the sell side liquidity resting below the central bank dealers range with a fair value gap, and you can see the market traded downwards, clearing up this sell side liquidity and rebalancing this fair value gap. Next, it moves higher to attack the buy side liquidity resting above these relative equal highs. If you actually split this range in half, you'll find that it's very close to 0.5 standard deviations above. I haven't done that actually, but I probably should have done. So we have sell side liquidity resting below the Asian lows, we have a fair value gap, and we have this order block. We want to buy ideally below the midnight New York opening price, and we already are looking for cbdr in our expansion leg on the left hand side. We see price move lower after our New York opening price. Ignore the 5 a.m. that's UK time. And we travel down into the order block. If you notice, we have a high, a low, a higher high, and then this is the leg that breaks market structure below these lows. The last down close candle, that's your breaker. And within the breaker we have that fair value gap as well. So this is a good area from this high to this low. We're above that 50% and we move lower. This is a valid entry because even though we're outside of the kill zone of Asia, the fair value gap and the breaker are inside of the kill zone. So IPTA is going to remember the cbdrs that are inside of the kill zones. We obviously went lower and dipped into the order block, clearing up this fair value gap at the same time and clearing up this sell side liquidity. And we had 1, 2, 3 drives lower. This is a pattern that ICT teaches us as a good reversal pattern as we're coming down and taking laid liquidity. He learned it from, I think it was Street Smarts by Linda Rashkin and Larry Connors. Don't quote me on that one, but it's again another it was on the chart, so I decided I'd add that in there for free. Now, how do we use our central bank dealers range to also form confluence of how far this Judas swing from 12 a.m. New York is likely to go lower? Well, if we take the midpoint between standard deviation 1 and standard deviation 2, we tag 1.5 standard deviations of the central bank dealers range. By now you should know that because the algorithm is very limited in what it can do and it's based on mathematical calculations, 0.5 levels are always really strong and the algorithm will refer to these levels. So the midpoints of these central bank standard deviations are also very sensitive. Now that we've come into our discount array from this high to this low, and we've come in down 1.5 standard deviations and reacted from this really nicely, where are we likely to go next? Well, we have our old high which is to the left of this chart, and it's in close proximity with 1, 2, 3 standard deviations above the market. We do in fact see the old high liquidity taken, but we had a 1 pip variance with 3 standard deviations of the central bank dealers range. This is within our 5 pip variance, so this works for us. We could have taken partials over here. Taking partials obviously above the Asian range high is a good idea, but this is New York and we haven't yet reached our draw on liquidity. So we look for the high of the day, if we're bullish, to form in London close between 10 AM and 12 PM Eastern Standard Time. So there's time in the day for us to reach our objective. This is why we want to hold on to London close to see if we can reach our objective, and we do. The relative equal highs are on our left hand side, and as you can see we paced into that just shy of 3 standard deviations above the central bank dealers range. But like I said, you don't want to look for too much precision. You want to use it as a roadmap. You want to look on the left hand side and see, okay, where's our points of interest, where's our PD arrays, where's our draw on liquidity, and are they in a 5 pip variance to a standard deviation of the central bank dealers range. And this will serve you well as a tool if you're looking for accuracy and to navigate your way through these markets. So I hope you found this one insightful. I know there's a lot of information in this one and a lot of people don't use it. To be perfectly honest, I don't always use it. I like to have it as a tool just to see, am I in close proximity with standard deviations and premium rays that I'm hunting, and it serves me well. So back test this one and try not to stress yourself so much with making sure that you get the absolute perfection in terms of precision with it.